The following is produced by 5 Star Productions USA, which is solely responsible for its editorial content.
Are you properly saving for your retirement? Is what you're saving really enough? To make the most of your money, it first takes an understanding of what to do with it. It can be a personal crisis for anyone. People faced with hair loss have many options, but often the simplest treatment is the most effective one. How do you manage your stress? Exercise, meditation, perhaps a shiatsu massage? Well, for many people, an innovative lounger may be responsible for relief. For those living with chronic headaches, understanding the potential causes can be the start of successful treatment. All these topics are coming up next on Today's Health. This program is brought to you in part by the Department of Labor, Pharmacia and Upjohn Rogaine for Women, Panasonic, and by an educational grant from Abbott Laboratories.
Heard the old saying, if you have your health, you have everything. It's a pretty accurate statement. The way we feel affects the way we live, and good health can help us through the bad times and make the good ones that much better. Hello, I'm Faith Daniels, and this is Today's Health. On the program today, we'll explore topics, issues, and technology that make us all a lot healthier today and in the future. Let's take a closer look.
The word retirement can inspire images of fishing or golfing, but for many Americans, especially women, the concept of retirement can be frightening. It can mean an extended number of years living at or below the poverty line. According to the National Women's Retirement Survey, 41% of all women between the ages of 25 and 55 are worried that they will live in or near poverty during their so-called golden years. For minority women, the fear is even worse.
Women are confronted with a different set of problems than men. It's not unusual to find women exiting the workforce to either care for children or to care for aging parents. This means that they have less time in the office, so therefore their retirement benefits are not going to be as great as a man who works uninterrupted for a period of, say, 40 years.
The thought of retirement has always meant for me a time to relax, a time to let down, a time to be able to do some traveling and not have to worry about expenses. But when I think about the money it will take in order for me to be able to do that, I start to worry about, well, maybe I'm not going to be financially stable enough to enjoy a life when I'm old enough to retire.
Informational programs like the Retirement Savings Education Campaign, sponsored by the U.S. Department of Labor, and statewide one-day seminars like the Every Women's Money conferences can alert women to what they need to know and do about retirement.
Typically, when one enters their retirement years, they're dependent upon 3 sources of income to get them there through their retirement. They would have, or hopefully they would have, a pension that would have been provided through their company. They have Social Security, and then of course they're going to have their personal savings. That's what will have to make up the difference. Typically we find that you'll want to have 75% of your income during your retirement years.
Now that I'm on the right track and I am saving, I can't tell you how important it is for women in the workforce to do some investigating into their financial futures. Think about what you want to do. Visit a financial planner, do some reading, because thinking about your future now will only assure you that that future will be bright.
Everyone needs to prepare for their future, and it's especially important for women to understand the specific issues that affect their retirement years. If they can take the proper steps to adequately save while working, the time they spend in retirement will truly be golden.
For many women, styling their hair is a simple routine. But what if that hair slowly starts to thin?
Every time I brush my hair, I noticed a lot more hairs in my brush.
With the popularity of topical treatments, many women are fighting back to help keep their hair loss at bay. We'll hear 2 stories of success next.
emergencies occur when you least expect them. One way to prepare for the unexpected is to learn CPR. Many communities and organizations offer free courses. Knowing CPR could help you save a life. This next feature focuses on another important health issue.
We inherit many things from our parents, but some things, like hair loss, we often wish they could have kept to themselves. In the United States, over 20 million women are coping with thinning hair or hair loss, and for many, it's an inherited condition. It's a common condition called androgenetic alopecia, which comes from a combination of heredity, hormones, and age. It causes a progressive shrinking or miniaturization of certain scalp follicles. The hair loss process is a gradual conversion of terminal, long pigmented hairs to vellus-like, short, non-pigmented hairs.
Thinning hair is a common problem for women. We usually recognize that about 25 to 30% of women will experience thinning hair through early to middle age to even older years of life.
In androgenetic alopecia, there is a shortening of the hair's growing cycle, and the resting phase becomes longer. Eventually, there will be no growth at all.
Well, my hair loss is gradual, very gradual. And when I realized that the part was getting wider and wider, I just figured maybe I got a bad perm. So I stopped getting perms for a while. And after a period of time, I realized it was more serious than that.
Every time I brush my hair, I noticed a lot more hairs in my brush. And when I would get my hair cut, I would have the girl not cut it quite so short on the sides because you could see my scalp. My hair was so thin. My hairstylist suggested, use more mousse there, kind of pick it up, tease it a little bit. Well, the more I teased it, the more it came out. So I knew that wasn't the answer.
Sometimes the hair wouldn't work the way I combed it because of the wide parts. And so I would just put on another hat.
In many cases, women can stop hereditary hair loss, and it's often possible to stimulate regrowth using minoxidil, now available without a prescription, like Rogaine for Women, developed by Pharmacia and Upjohn.
We know that when patients use minoxidil, it has an effect on increasing the thickness of the diameter of the hair follicle, and with some patients growing cosmetically visible, thick, pigmented hairs back. So for some patients, they may grow thin, fine hairs, or hairs that are very fine and blonde, but for many patients it will grow dark hair follicles back with time.
If you're a woman and you notice your hair is thinning, you're not alone. It happens to nearly 1 in 5 women. If you ask a doctor, a pharmacist, or your stylist, you can find alternatives and challenge heredity.
You've heard of the city that never sleeps. Well, the United States may be the country that never sleeps. More than 30 million people suffer from insomnia. But there are treatments available, so if you're sleepless, see your doctor. Here's another important health issue.
I don't think anyone wants to have thinning hair or be bald, a man or woman.
When faced with the possibility of losing one's hair, it can become a personal crisis for a man or a woman. We live in a society that glorifies youth and beauty, and a full head of hair is often an integral part of what's considered looking good. In our culture, a woman's looks are scrutinized almost constantly, and thinning hair can erode her self-image and her confidence.
I would do different hairstyles, and some that were not even flattering, like bangs on me. I would tease the hair more, which did not help the situation, and used hairspray so it would stay. After quite a while, when I realized that the situation with my hair loss was not getting any better and it was getting worse, I decided I had to do something. So someone had recommended this dermatologist for another problem of theirs, and I thought, well, maybe this is a problem from a dermatologist. No, there's a couple of spots on the top of my head. She gave me a checkup, checked my hair, my scalp, my general health, and she recommended using Rogaine.
The widespread availability of topical minoxidil treatments like Rogaine for Women has given women an alternative which may allow them to stop the thinning and possibly regrow hair in areas where the scalp has become more visible.
It's very important and significant to counsel each patient to assess their hair loss as to when you're seeing it and where they are in their presentation in the hair loss spectrum, so that we can gauge or assess what kind of response we can predict for them.
After using it 4.5 weeks, I noticed less hair in my hairbrush. I noticed less hair when I shampooed my hair in the sink or whatever. And in 6 weeks, I noticed that my hair was getting fuller. And it wasn't just my imagination, because my hairdresser also noticed it.
My Rogaine treatment includes using it twice a day, morning and in the evening. It's not a problem at all. It takes not even a few minutes. Put a little dab on the scalp. Now that I've been using this treatment and see the results, I'm going to continue using it. It's no bother, it's quick, it's easy, and I like the results. What can I say?
Throughout history and literature, a full head of hair has been used as a symbol of strength, youth, and beauty. Thinning hair can undermine a woman's confidence and self-image, but fortunately, it can be stopped, and new growth can begin again.
It's been with us since the days of Adam and Eve. If not properly managed, it can contribute to many diseases. Stress. There are many techniques to help relieve the pressure, but none more effective than massage therapy. Unfortunately, visiting a masseuse is not always possible. So what's the next best alternative? Stay tuned.
If you want a good way to reduce stress, get physical. Walk, swim, run, or do any sustained rhythmic physical exercise. It burns the adrenaline that excess stress stimulates and can help you relax you and your muscles. Want to know another way to improve your health? Watch this.
Stress is a double-edged sword. It can be a great motivator or a powerful obstruction. Unfortunately, stress has become most well known for its negative effects, which can immobilize, disable, and even contribute to deadly health conditions.
No, I'm telling you, the numbers are not working.
Currently in the United States, stress-related problems account for as much as 75 to 90% of all primary care physician visits. Job stress is estimated to cost American industry $200 to $300 billion annually in absenteeism, decreased productivity, employee turnover, accidents, and medical costs.
Stress is a psychological, physiological, mental, emotional abuse or disuse of the body, resulting from any sort of injury, illness, accident.
Oh boy. Running a business is a tremendous builder of stress in my life because I am totally responsible for all facets of the business. I have nobody else to depend on. I'm responsible for payroll and those types of things, accounts payable, accounts receivable, accounting, finance, legal, and having all those things can build up a tremendous amount of stress.
We have two little kids. We have a 4-year-old and we have a 2-year-old. That alone is very, very stressful because they're always getting into different things. In addition to that, we have our own business. It's a landscape business. We have different crews out on different homes. Invariably, on any given day, there will be a particular house where someone will hit a sprinkler line. Maybe it's a main sprinkler line, or maybe a truck will break down. So on a daily basis, there are any number of instances where stress is going to occur in my life.
When people have a lot of stress in their lives, basically statistics have shown, and people have experienced high blood pressure, depressed immune functions in the body have shown, overeating, depression.
It can also provoke negative behaviors and conditions like smoking, alcoholism, substance abuse, and obesity.
It makes me a lot more irritable, a lot less patient, very short with people when I'm really stressed out.
Many people are attempting to manage the stress in their life with techniques like exercise, meditation, massage, and even at-home innovations like this Great Escape massage lounger from Panasonic can help them take their health into their own hands within their home environment.
It's one of the most relaxing feelings in the world after a hard day's work and you really feel kind of stressed out. There's nothing like coming home to the Panasonic chair and getting a nice shiatsu massage.
It's a worldwide tragedy. Every year, nearly 3 million children die from diseases that could be prevented by immunizations. If you have children, you can help them get off to a healthy start by having them vaccinated. Now let's explore how you can reduce another health risk.
After a massage, I find it's like a walk on the beach. It clears the mind too, so I can be a little bit quicker, and I just find that everything is just so much easier.
In the 10th century, Japanese monks combined their massage-type methods of healing with traditional Chinese medicine and developed healing techniques called shiatsu. The term means finger pressure, and the massage technique has become a very popular form of physical therapy and stress relief here in the United States.
Shiatsu massage is based on the Chinese system of acupuncture. The only difference is the type of stimulation that you're using. With acupuncture, you're using needles. With shiatsu, you're using different forms of compression. It can be finger compression, palm compression, using your fist, your elbows, your knees, and even your feet. The benefits is that it opens the body. It opens up pockets of stagnation and allows for better and greater circulation, not only circulation of body fluids like blood and lymph, but energy as well.
Unfortunately, for many of us, visiting a masseuse regularly is inconvenient and expensive. Applications of high technology have given us several innovative ways to attempt to control stress and take a more active role in maintaining good health. A good example is this Great Escape massage lounger from Panasonic. Advanced electronics allow the user to program a true shiatsu massage that adapts to their specific height and strength preference.
And what I'll do is I'll set the remote at the very lower part of my back, and it will just go through the entire motion. At the end of that, I then go straight to bed. I find that I don't get the knots in my back that I used to get all of the time.
The shiatsu movements of the chair really relax me. Now I feel I'm effectively managing the stress in my life because it's very convenient. I come home from work and the chair is right here. It really makes me a lot less irritable, a lot more pleasant to be around when I come home. It makes a tremendous difference in your life.
According to one study, 70% of Americans describe their jobs as stressful, and 60 to 80% of on-the-job accidents are stress-related. Whether it's a shiatsu massage, a vigorous workout, or serene meditation, how well we control stress in our lives can be the key to our success and good health.
When it comes to health issues, there's so much to discuss and so little time to cover it all. If you want more information about any topic you see on the show, browse over to our website at www.vstar.com and we'll hot link you right to the source. Good health begins with informed choices. It's important to make good decisions about the proper exercise, diet, and even the lifestyle that's right for you. If what you're reading here sometimes seems to be confusing, it's usually a good idea to ask a health professional for their advice.
Imagine a throbbing pain in your head so intense it can paralyze you, make you nauseous, and even make you wince when the lights come on. For many people, this is nothing they have to imagine. It's a typical migraine headache, and it's painfully real. Migraines and other recurring chronic types of headaches are responsible for over 150 million lost days of work each year. A recent survey showed that at least 6% of men and 18% of women suffer from migraines. Until puberty, migraines are about equally common in boys and girls. After puberty, however, migraines are 2 to 3 times more common in females.
There are 3 main forms of recurrent or primary headaches. Migraine, which we refer to as a sick headache, an incapacitating headache in most people. Tension headache is a milder headache. It's not as severe. People don't often even need to take medication. And then there's a cluster headache, and that is a very, very severe incapacitating headache. The way I describe it to my patients is as if you take a migraine, an incapacitating headache that may last 2 to 3 days, take all that pain, put it behind one eye, and let it go for 1 hour, and that's the intensity.
I usually get my headaches right around my forehead. And it feels like someone just hit me upside the head with a sledgehammer.
We've seen Josh go through the gambit of emotion. Sometimes he gets angry when he has a headache. Sometimes the pain is so overwhelming that he'll cry, but he knows that he can't cry because it just makes it worse. And I found him many times on the bathroom floor where he was in between wanting to sleep and wanting to throw up. He would just lay towels on the floor and want to go to sleep, but knowing that the nausea was so great, he wanted to be close to the toilet. I go and work out in the mornings before I go to work, and I went into the gym and everything seemed very bright. And I even, to the extent that I went to the gentleman who was working and I asked him if he would please turn down the lights. I said, "Do you have the lights on brighter this morning than usual?" And he said, "No." And I'm thinking to myself, something is going on here. I didn't know what was going on. By the time I got home, I was experiencing an extreme pain in the left-hand side of my head. I found myself unable to function at work where I have to deal with people on a regular basis. What I wanted to do, I wanted to go in a dark room and be by myself with complete quiet and no light whatsoever.
Migraines and other chronic headaches are real illnesses, and they need to be treated by a doctor. A visit to a health professional can be the first step toward that often elusive goal called relief.
Some people think an existence full of predictability can be monotonous. Others want consistency. But no matter how adventurous you want your life to be, it's important that your body remain consistent and predictable, especially your heart.
I worked with an ice pack as well as with heating pads. Also, I would go into a dark room, close the shades, and even to the extent where I would just lie completely still with a pillow over my head.
Coping with migraines is a painful reality for more than 23 million people in the United States. And although there is no cure, treatment alternatives are becoming more effective.
You want to know when did the headache start? How often is it occurring? Is it getting more severe and more frequent over time?
Once you've made the diagnosis of migraine, treatment strategies include two major points: the use of medicine and non-medical treatments. Medical treatments are broken down into acute, when the headache occurs that day, what do you do? And preventative, to try to prevent a headache before it occurs. And there's also non-pharmacologic, which is both acute and preventative as well, if you want to look at it that way.
Pain relief is very important in treating migraines, and there are both over-the-counter pain relief options and prescription medications available that can help reduce the discomfort, nausea, and other symptoms.
Often what happens with Josh is he gets into what's known, I guess, as a migraine cycle, where he would get one almost every day for a few days, or small ones leading up to it and then get a big blowout headache. And he was trying very hard to break the cycle by using different medications. Some of the changes that I followed were avoiding certain foods as well as keeping a diary. Therefore, I could see what foods I had eaten that might have triggered these migraines. Josh could have one headache a month, and at one point we were up to 9 migraines a month, which is very difficult to live your life when you don't know if every other day or every couple days your son's going to have a headache. And we're not just talking about a little headache, ache and pain where you take some kind of pill and feel better. This is a headache where everybody's whole life and the whole family has to stop because we have to get him in a bed sleeping. Now that I know what's going on, I'm able to realize this is what I have, this is what I need to do, and I know what the course of the migraine is going to be.
I want to have fun, and I want to spend my life having fun, and I want to play sports, I want to be athletic, and I'm not letting my headache stop me from doing that.
How important is your health to you? The best time to do what's necessary to stay healthy is when there's nothing wrong. If we can maintain regular checkups, proper exercise, and a balanced diet when we're feeling fine, then we may be able to avoid what makes us ill. I'm Faith Daniels. For more information about any of our stories, visit our internet site at www.vstar.com. And join us again next time as we get right to the heart of matters affecting your life on Today's Health.
This has been a presentation of 5 Star Productions USA, which is solely responsible for its editorial content.